CTWE wrestler, The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends that Rent a Race Car, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Racing action on Tim's Corner Motorsports is presented by Pache Motors, the largest Ram truck dealer in Atlantic Canada. Browse their inventory online at pachemotors.com. Tranquility. Help for anxiety is only a click away. Learn more by visiting tranquility.app. Finish Line Vinyl Design, the official decal supplier of Tim's Corner Motorsports. Like them on Facebook at facebook.com/Finishline Vinyl Design. And by CB Warren's Auto Care.
Number 7 here in the 2020 expansion pack. Welcome to Vidane TV for the second or third, maybe fourth time here in the year. Second race of the week here for the NEPS New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Series here for the Avery Tree Guy Oxford 100 here at Oxford Place Raceway up here in Maine. Very excited to be here. These guys are getting ready to put on a fantastic show. Just getting ready to wrap up qualifying. 3.5 minutes left here. John Peterson champ is here. He's up on the pole currently right now. Light Alexander and Devin Mahemka are currently the top 3. But still about 3.5 minutes left to qualify here. So they may very well get knocked off. Good evening, everybody. Paul Strickland Jr. here. Showtime as it's good. Matching the buttons. Pushing all the buttons. Making the cameras work. Doing some commentary along with legend himself, Tim Terry from Tim's Corner Motorsports. And Tim, you're pretty familiar with this place. You've been running the Weekly Series. You ran the double-double last night at Oxford. Looking forward to a good race. We actually heard a couple of the guys talking about it last night. One thing that definitely the case from lining these cars up on the front stretch, going to get a couple of pace laps, really going there for 100 laps. Hits that bumper and keeps up the track. Absolutely, I think I'm able to find this situation. It's like in the rock and six. quick off, 14-15 second lap times, depending on tire wear and traffic and all of that stuff. So really going to be able to find a groove. A lot of there's a lot of racetrack here, and you'll notice all the way around the outside. There's no walls here on the outside. So in many cases, it's going to end up being a big wreck. A lot of those drivers just kind of throw it out into the grass. We're able to kind of gather everything back up without having to bring out that yellow flag. So hopefully we'll see some of that tonight, and getting ready for a big show. That's what it's lined up. You guys see rolling through here, and it looks like the lights are off on that iRacing Mustang pace car. So we're getting ready to go green here for we got 100 about the plane. Dropping back, desperately trying to get down to that bottom side. You can see this is one of the biggest traffic jams you'll probably see in the state. There's a lot of 2x2 racing here. There you see the 61. Brandon Newhouse stuck on the outside as well. There's the 12. It's that curving just a little bit. Doesn't upset the star too much, but Lane as well. Lane moving up on the bottom side of the 14 star. Same barrel. Not the same lane, whichever lane you're racing in. We'll figure it out. Doing a great job in the 90 so far, about where he started.
As well, tucked into line, and that number 46 of Ryan Libby, and you can see that field getting single file. And right now you really don't need to force that issue, Paul. It's early in the race. Log some laps. Kenny Kibbe takes a little peek to the inside. Is nothing doing there with that number 15 car. He'll fall back into line. In behind, there's Ryan Libby making up a spot.
A lot of bumper-to-bumper traffic here going on right now, and you can see the leader, John Peters, has got a 1.5-second lead already, and you can see the next four drivers. Just a little bit of side-by-side battle there for the 15. Preston Isio on the 56. 56 gets a little bit squirrely, able to hold on to it, and he tucks right back in behind the 15. That's going to go in the memory bank. You may see that payback, as it were, later on in the race.
Yeah, Kibbe's been able to really set the pass up the last couple laps, get a good run off of these corners, and hasn't really been able to put it anywhere, but got that move on Evan Boiler to dispatch him back one spot. Kenny Kibbe moves to fourth and sets his sights on Devin Marhefka. We get a close little battle for about second on back, as you can see it on your screen. John Peters is gone by over 1.5 seconds. There's a good shot there of the leader falling away or driving away from the pack, and everybody else trying to follow him through. There's Wyatt Alexander. Great qualifying effort and great race pace so far in second.
All green so far, 10 laps down, 90 to go here at Oxford Plains. You can see battle starting to heat up for that second position. Wyatt Alexander has it. Devin Marhefka wants it. And the 15, Kenny Kibbe, he's still holding on as well in that fourth position. He wants to see if these guys are going to make a mistake, maybe get into each other and try and get around these two drivers and move up to one of the podium positions. You see the 22, big wiggle there. The back end of the car loses a little bit of grip, but he's able to collect it right back up. Doesn't look like he loses too much ground.
Evan Boiler in the 56 went wide down into corner number one a couple laps ago. Not sure if he had any contact ball to put him out there, but he's still stuck on the outside line in the 56. Kopech goes by as we look at that little battle for position number two trying to form there. Looks like Marhefka trying to go to the inside, but can't seem to get that run on the 96 of Wyatt Alexander as they continue to work for position number two. Caution is out on the speedway.
There you can see the 61 car, Brandon Newhouse, pointing in the wrong direction in the Little Trees car. See if we can pull up the instant replay here. Brought to you by Raise Energy Drink. Check them out at repsports.com, R-E-P-P sports.com. Use the promo code Vidane TV. Get yourself 15% off on anything that they have to offer. A lot of energy drinks, sleep aids, protein powder, all that good stuff. Definitely check them out. And we're going to take a look at the old tapes here. We'll be able to see the 61 and the 56 of Evan B. Side by side, and it looks like it might be, well, you didn't hit that curb, so it's kind of a tough situation to tell there. I don't see, looks like the 61 just kind of loses the car. almost looks like it might have been a flat because you can see the front tires were turned hard to the left, and it didn't seem like the car wanted to turn. So the 61 and the 56 get involved here. Nobody else gets involved. Everybody drives on around, and you can see the not really too much damage there on the 61 machine. Just kind of waiting for the drivers to clear by, and he's actually going to call for a tow and head down pit road. So definitely going to lose a couple of laps here. Tough break for Brandon Newhouse.
And it might very well be the product of the racing too, Paul. We mentioned this being a one-groove racetrack, trying to get that driver out of that outside groove, or trying to get to the inside. Evan Boiler was running in the top 5 for a while, and got dispatched down in corner number 1, went a little wide, and lost all those positions back to where he's running right now. Currently scored in position number 9. Almost had a moment with Dylan Kopech trying to find a spot into line. So it's kind of difficult to navigate from that outside to the inside, but once you do, you can pick up some spots like we've seen out of some of these drivers near the front of the field as Matt Kentfield goes around the pace car and gets around and gets one of his laps back. But it's a one groove racetrack. You can make it work on the outside a little bit, but you really have to stronghold it in order to do so.
Absolutely, and the longer the race goes on, too, it really wears down the tires on these cars. So the Highline really, you'll see some of the veteran drivers will get up there and try and make something happen, try and make the car stick in that high or that middle groove, but most of these drivers really going to be battling for that lower position on the racetrack. And you'll see as the night goes on and as the tires wear off and the tempers start to run up as we double them up here and the lights go off on the pace car, the drivers are really going to be fighting that groove in the bottom as well, that curbing that goes all the way around the track, because it really upsets the race car.
And track position here is going to be key. Unless they emptied out a little bit of the fuel on these setups, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of pit stops, especially from these guys up front. Green flag flies, we're back underway, and Marhefka quickly to the inside of Wyatt Alexander. Man, he was on it. Devin Marhefka going to go to second, and Brent Roy was looking at position number 3. He's going to slide in ahead of the 15 of Kenny Kibbe to pick up that spot, so move the 26 a little bit further up into the top 5.
There's the 6 on the 26. We couldn't find the number last race. It looks like he's got it taken care of now. Moved himself into 4th position. Kenny Kibbe right behind him, right on his bumper in that number 15 car. Currently running 5th, and don't look now. Here comes Zane. Zaney's all the way up to 6th position. A few laps ago, he was back there in 9th or 10th. So that 14 car absolutely on the move.
And then just in behind them, you can see Evan Boilers found a spot to the inside. He's racing David Arute for position number 7. And in behind, your point leader is Ryan Libby. He's finally made his way into the top 10 and currently scored in position number 9. Dylan Kopech to the outside, stuck on the outside, still not able to get down to the low side. Pasako makes the move. Here comes Mike Hopkins in the 78 to the inside. Kopech going backward.
Going backwards very quickly, and you can see trying to turn that car down, trying to find himself a hole, trying to get down to that bottom side. You can see currently running in the 13th spot. There goes 14th place. Just really turning that car down, trying to force, almost as if you're driving on the interstate. You're trying to get over to the fast lane and somebody's blocking you in. Exact same scenario here, except they're just driving around in circles. Back to 14th, and here comes the 15th place car, the 64 of Michael Bennett. He's going to try and get around him. Nope, he actually backs up just a little bit, lets Kopech in. So Kopech finally in on that bottom groove. It's going to dip him all the way back down to the 14th place position, though.
It's almost lane management, Paul, when you look at the Vidane Super Speedway Series that we see Saturday nights here on Vidane, where you're trying to find that spot into that fast lane to try to position yourself and advance yourself in the line. That's like Dylan Kopech was trying to do there, trying to find that spot to the inside line and not cut anybody off, like you'll see here with Pasako side by side with Hopkins for about position number 11. They continue to go at it. The 13 and going to stick his nose in there, Brandon Marhefka. And now the 74 is trying to find that spot in the line. Kopech going to put the nose in there and let that 74 go back one more spot. Michael Bennett is next. Aiello, Casagrande also on the inside. It looked like Pasako was going to have a spot there, but now the 64 occupies the inside.
The tables have turned. Now the 74 going backwards finds himself a spot in front of the 31 Bud machine of Anthony Aiello. And you can see the 31 right on the back bumper. He says, yes, I'll let you go, but you really need to go. I need to get up there and try and pass some of these cars and gain some positions. So 10th on back, pretty much bumper to bumper at this point, and everybody's still hunting out that bottom line.
Yeah, the line starts to form around 4th place. That's Brent Roy, and there goes Kibbe. Kibbe puts the nose to the inside, contact, and it sends Brent Roy around in the 26, and he locks it down. Everybody goes,
oh big hit.
Big contact from Marhefka, and that will draw the caution flag. And I was about to say, I said that line started around 4th, and that's exactly where it was. We'll cue up the Raise Energy replay and see that one more time. But again, Paul, somebody trying to find a spot in the line, and with Oxford, that's what you have to do.
Oh, absolutely, and we're taking a look at it right now. You can see the 15 gets low just a little bit, gets into the corner panel, the 26 of Roy, and sends him on around. Right there, wasn't really no harm, no foul. He was able to lock up the binders, but, man, big hit from the 13 machine. That's going to damage both of those race cars. So Brandon Marhefka in the 13, Brent Roy in the 26. So going to go down pit road. I believe they've got a quick repair like you see in the NASCAR Cup Series that we see here on iRacing from time to time. And he's going to come down pit road, see if he can't get that machine fixed and finish out the race. We're already 32 laps in.
Yeah, he's still got a little bit of time to get back up to where he was, but a great qualifying effort for the 26 dashed here by that little incident. So he'll come down and get that quick repair. I was saying before we went green, I don't think a lot of these guys up in front are going to come down pit road because, yes, they do have tires down there. Yes, they have that quick repair down there. But if you're up front, we've seen the track position be so key. Unlike what we saw at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on Monday night, where we had some strategy and, you know, a big racetrack, you can move a little bit. Tires mean a lot as well. Not as much here. I think the track position is going to outweigh what you have on pit road. The 51 of John Peters was one of those drivers that pitted late in that race, or the middle portion of that race, was able to come back through and end up in the top 10, but not exactly where he needed to be to gain points on Ryan Libby. And if it goes this way now, Paul, Ryan Libby sitting in position number 7, John Peters going to try to chisel a couple of points out of that point lead.
Now here's a question. The current points leader is Ryan Libby, but I'm taking a look at the timing and scoring right now, and I'm seeing in the 46 car is Ryan Bibby. Is that a separate driver, or is that a nickname?
I was told they were trying to change his luck for the opposite way, because Ryan Libby has had some really good luck here the last couple of races. You know, picking up points, picking up podium spots, picked up a win at Charlotte. I think it was for everybody else to try to change his luck a little bit. He did kind of joke after qualifying that his luck had changed for the worse and he wanted his L back. So right now, sitting in position at number 7. The good news for Ryan Libby, though, he's got an inside line starting position right behind Zaney.
For sure. Peters, Marhefka, Alexander, Kibbe, and Farrell, the top 5. Bullier, Bibby, Lewandowski, Arute, and Hopkins, the top 10. Doubled up 2 by 2. There goes the pace car making that hard left-hand turn. And there goes John Peters mashing that gas pedal. Heading on down to turn number 1. Already has a car length lead over the number 22 with Devin Marhefka.
Zane Farrell went a little bit wide there from row number 3. Put Boiler to the outside as they battle side by side behind. Caution flag will fly quickly off of this one. And Dylan Kopech is off in corner number 2, so that will draw the caution flag. He'll get back going again, but heavy damage to the 09.
Heavy damage and lots of black smoke coming out of the back of that race car, so if he hasn't used that quick repair, he's absolutely going to be using it this caution flag. But we'll back up the Raise Energy Drink instant replay, find out what sent the 09 out there into the grass. And it looks like it was just kind of hard racing here on the restart. You can see he was side by side with Michael Bennett there in the 64. The 09 turns into the corner, and it looks like he turns just a little bit too much. And well, it looks like he turned a little bit too much, and the 64 may not have turned enough. See if we can pull that up one more time, because that looked like a really hard right-hand turn. But we're going to take a look from the sky cam here. There you can see the 64. You can see a little bit of damage there on just a little bit of a hit from the 09 to the 64, and really, really, really broke the right front of the 64. Took away the steering on that car and just sent him and Kopech into the wall there. So that was a tough break, kind of a freak accident, if you will, with the front end of that 64 machine.
And it's one of those things, trying to get these cars unattached from each other when something like that does happen. You saw the 09 kind of go to the inside a little bit, and those cars gravitated out towards the outfield in turn number 2. We saw it last night with Barkhouse and Drake battling for the lead in the TCM race, where they were, swapping fenders, going back and forth, door to door, and they couldn't get off each other, and it ended up on the back straightaway with them going out to the outside with a couple of more race cars being attached to them by the time they were done, but it almost looked like that there too, trying to get those cars away from each other. And that 09 car looks pretty good with the quick repair, but he'll be back in position number 20 when we go green. The good news is, you know, we just saw Brent Roy involved in an incident. He's up to 16th already, so he's gained a couple of spots, albeit we had maybe a quarter of a lap there. He did pick up a couple due to attrition, but we'll see what he can do as the field begins to double up in behind the pace car and we get ready to go back to green. We'll complete 41 laps this time by.
Just about getting up to halfway. John Peters still leads. Marhefka on the outside. Kibby Alexander Bullier in top 5. Zane Farrell, Bibby, Lewandowski, Hopkins, and a Root to top 10. There goes the pace car one more again. John Peters smashes that loud pedal, gets that start. Little bit of a wheel spin there for the 22 of Marhefka. Doesn't get the start he wants, and he loses second position to Wyatt Alexander. He's going to get freight trained. He's stuck up top here, Tim.
And there's the caution flag. Yellow flag is back out on the speedway. I was about to say the 22 of Marhefka, the last two starts had really good launches. Wyatt Alexander was kind of caught sleeping. Vice versa this time, but now Alexander will be on the outside of Peters when we go back green. Anthony Aiello bringing out the caution flag. The Rays Energy replay. Paul, what went on with the 31?
A little bit of a racing deal here. You can see the 31 shoots down, tries to get in front of Hisako there in the 74, and he ran out of patience. Oh, Brent gets into it. He smashes the front end of that race car into the side of him. Look, he was just trying to get down to that bottom lane and getting to the point where it's halfway. A lot less give, a little bit more take, and this is one of those deals, too, where cautions breed cautions. Sometimes breed cautions. So these guys are going to have another couple laps here under caution to kind of think about where they're going, what they've got going on, and how they're going to attack the second 50 laps of this race.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of patience. If you're John Peters, you're seeing those laps up front click by. You control these restarts. And John has been pretty consistent on where he fires on these restarts. The guys behind him trying to fight for second on back. And there's been a couple of drivers exchange positions. Looks like Ryan Libby still on the inside line in position number 7. Charles Lewandowski mentioned in the top 10. Position number 8, David Arute, Mike Hopkins in 10th. It seems like a lot of those spots middle of the pack are a revolving door right now, but with only a quarter to a half lap on the last couple of runs of racing, it's just a matter of where you put your bumper and where your fender is when that yellow flag does fly. John Peters continuing to lead up in front, but now he'll have Wyatt Alexander to the outside. Alexander started there. Devin Marhefka started in third, currently running third. Kenny Kibbe fourth, started fourth. So the top 4 cars the same way they started this race 46 laps ago on this restart, but Wyatt Alexander has been sleeping on a couple of these last attempts. We'll see if he can do what he did on the last restart and be up on the wheel, because that one was fairly sharp. Now he's going to battle with John Peters trying to take away the lead.
There you can see the 31 of Anthony Aiello getting off pit road there. Currently a lap down. Brent Roy a lap down as well. The lights are off on the pace car. We are still lined up single file, so it looks like the race officials, easy enough for me to say, have decided to do a single file restart, easy enough for me to say, which plays into the factor of John Peters going to get a 3-car length lead, 4-car length lead, heading out into 1, coming out of 2, and it pretty much gives these drivers an opportunity to all be on that lower line with the restart.
And you can see that as they work around corners number 3 and 4, everybody trying to find their groove right now. Now it's an opportunity that you are single file. You got to pick your lane. Don't go out wide. Make sure nobody gets to the inside of you. Evan Boyler going to go to the inside of the 14 as Zane Farrell for position at number 5 as they continue to battle that one out. And Zane just went a little bit wide into corner number 3, and it's going to cost him at least 2 spots. 13 of Marhefka to the outside. We stay green. Ryan Libby to the inside, and Charles Lewandowski looking for one more.
Things heating up. Lap number 50. 50 down, 50 to go here at the Angry Tree Guy Oxford 100. Want to thank everybody for watching on Facebook and YouTube here. Second NEPS race here of the week, and really kicking off 2021 with a bang here at Vidane TV. Want to make sure that you like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and check us out on Twitter as well, Vidane TV. We're always like exchanging words and viewing all the trash talking that the NEPS guys and the NEPS Sportbooks account do on Twitter. Pretty cool to follow throughout the week, and when it comes to race time, it's put up or shut up time, and these guys are absolutely putting them up right now.
Yeah, great little battle up in front. That is the 96 of Wyatt Alexander, the 22 of Devin Marhefka, Kenny Kibbe in that little battle as well. And then Evan Boyler and the 46 of Ryan Libby, two of your top drivers in points, looking to pick up a couple of extra points here after leaving the Oxford Plains Speedway. But right now, everybody chasing down John Peters in the 51. And Paulie's doing the same thing he did on the first run. He's pulling away from the rest of this field as Ryan Libby takes a small look to the inside of Boyler for position number 5.
Libby trying to pick off these positions and gain as many points as he possibly can to try and not lose any points to John Peters, who's chasing him down in the points standings. And you can see John Peters already up to an 0.8 of a second lead here over Wyatt Alexander, number 96 car. And at this point, everybody's pretty much single file throughout the top 10, essentially the entire field here. So going to click off some laps here, it looks like, and give these drivers an opportunity. Looks like we got some smoke in the track. Caution comes out. Let's see if we can find what went down there.
One right in front of your leader, John Peters, had to put the binders on in order to get away from Anthony Aiello in the 31. It happened on the other end of the field, Paul, but with everything happening so quickly here and everything so tight, Anthony Aiello was on the front straightaway when John Peters had to throw the brakes on. What happened on this Race Energy replay?
Yeah, short little racetrack. There's really not much time to do much of anything here at Oxford Plains, but we'll take a look. We're going to look in on the 31 car. Having a rough go of it here tonight. Gets a little bit of a bumpski there from the 74. Pasako gets him out of shape, and looks like he just kind of overcorrects it a little bit of a lazy spin there, and you can see a couple of drivers shoot up around the high side. Gets her straightened out, but there you can see it. That was a close call there for the champ John Peters in the 51 and the 96 of Wyatt Alexander, but some definitely great heads-up driving for those drivers for not smashing into the driver spun around here. So doesn't look like the 31 of Aiello is going to lose another lap. Still one lap down. Brent Roy looks like he's going to be the lucky dog here. That's going to put 19 cars on the lead lap. Still 21 cars in this field out of the 22 starters here at Oxford Plains.
And it looks like by the chatter in the server that we're going to stay single file. I haven't seen them switch to double file restarts again, which might be a good thing. We saw that restart get a couple laps in on that, so that might be a good way to proceed. I did see earlier, you talked about the social media, Paul. The Shift Series putting out a little bit earlier on today that there would be the RDA Trilogy Challenge. The person who makes up the most spots tonight will score a $20 bonus. And looking through here, I think the biggest mover so far might be 12 positions. Charles Lewandowski, the 01 car, currently sitting in position number 7. Had a couple of movers towards the front of the field, but I think that is the biggest change of positions, positive change tonight, which would be that 01 that's on your screen. Chalou Performance sponsored our race on Monday evening, and Charles right now in the top 10, looking pretty good in position number 7.
Making some of that sponsor money back. Maybe he'll come back and sponsor another race here with the NEPS Series. These guys absolutely do have sponsorship opportunities available here in this Grand National Series, as well as their Super Truck Series, which you're going to be able to see next Friday night right here on Vidane TV. They did race on New Year's Day, but we weren't able to cover the race. Man, it's going to be exciting to have 2 NEPS Series going live on Vidane TV at the very same time. Another restart. Green flag is in the air. John Peters shoots on down to turn number 1, just like he did last time with a great big old lead.
Wyatt Alexander still in position number 2, holding off the field in behind. And this is where we saw a couple of drivers make up some spots on the last run. Just trying to get a driver to make that mistake, maybe drift a little wide, leave that door open going down into the corner and try to make up a couple of spots. Alexander gains about a car length or so on the battle in behind him with Devin Marhefka, Kenny Kibbe, and the 56 of Evan Boyler kind of leading that train around this Oxford Plains Speedway. Alexander not too far out ahead, but just enough to have a little bit of breathing room of Marhefka.
Bumper to bumper from 2nd, pretty much back on to 10th. There you can see Zane Farrell moving into the picture. Dropped back to 8th position, but still definitely up in the front of the battles here in the thick of things. But these drivers still bumper to bumper, trying to figure out where they're stronger, where they're weaker, trying to get the guy in front of them to make a little bit of a mistake. But there you can see John Peters, there's the lead, just about 1 full second over Wyatt Alexander.
Evan Boyler's car got a little tail happy coming out of corner number 4. He may have had a little bit of encouragement from behind from the 46 of Ryan Libby. Everybody running so tight right now. Libby, though, trying to make that spot up in front of them. Devin Marhefka, trying to flash the nose to the inside. You ride on board with your point leader as he tries to work around this train that's from second all the way back to about 9th place or so.
And you can hear him really backing off the throttle early and mashing on down to it. Really frustrating here because it's, even if you're faster than the guy or the drivers in front of you, it's really hard to pass here at Oxford Plains. And you can see right there, just like Waterford Speed Bowl for a lot of the Connecticut race fans that may go to some of the local tracks, this is more of a circle than it is an oval, and you're always turning left. You really don't get an opportunity to have a straightaway to where you can kind of gather your thoughts. Always working that wheel, especially in the turns, especially when you're in traffic like this.
And you're trying to get to that curve. Evan Boiler in the 56 is trying to not let that half lane to 3/4 of a lane open and see that daylight between the curb and his race car, because if you do, Ryan Libby is going to hop all over that and not only try to gain him a position, but put you back at least one, because if you get stuck on the outside line, get those tires upsetting you. There goes the 56 again, sideways at a corner number 4. That seems to be his Achilles heel right now, coming off of 4. Being able to map the gas pedal and get that grip, it's not there for the 56 car, at least for the last few laps.
And it's going to get worse and worse as the tire wear gets worse and worse, and the rubber starts to fall off the tires and sticks to the racetrack, and tempers are going to start flaring. He's going to want to try and move up, but the car's just not going to be there. Luckily, everybody else is going to be battling the same thing. Doesn't really look like too many of these leaders have been down on pit road. Seeing the first driver in line that has come down pit road at all was Dylan Kopech back in that wreck, currently running 12th. So these drivers still on the 73-lap tires that they started the race with, they qualified with as well, and it really doesn't seem like they slowed down too much. Maybe a couple of tenths, half of a second or so. Opportunity to take a look at the lap times. John Peters up front, the leader. His best lap's a 15.948, and his last lap was a 16.264. So 0.3 of a second, not too bad. But you also got to figure into him that he's not really battling anybody. He's pretty much got the clean air. You can see there, just about a quarter of a lap or so from catching lap traffic, but pretty much out on the racetrack by himself.
And he's got 25 laps to settle this one. After a couple laps, Wyatt Alexander's been able to pull away with position number 2, albeit by about a car length and a half or so. That battle for third continues on. Marhefka, Kibbe, Boiler, and Ryan Libby. Charles Lewandowski has a little bit of a cushion behind and in front of him with Zane Farrell. As you see him come across there with the 14 flashing in behind. And then David Arute, great top 10 effort so far in 9th, and Corey Casagrande completing your top 10. That battle for position number 3 continues on. Evan Boiler kind of rolled into the corner a little bit there, got to the back bumper, the O'Connor number 15 of Kenny Kibbe, but couldn't do anything with him. But this is the longest, and I hate to jinx it, I hate to say anything, this is the longest green flag run we've had so far, so this is where the tires really start to come into play. Ryan Libby kind of missed turn number 3. He goes up high, loses a couple of spots. This is where not only your tires start to go away, but you have to be locked into a rhythm, especially at a tight short track like this. The mental game comes into play too.
And there you saw Brandon Marhefka, the number 13, off the pace with big damage. The front bumper, front clip of that car is just completely tore off of it almost. He's going to make it down pit road though, and looks like we're going to stay green. Kind of the calm before the storm almost here, Tim, as these drivers are still single file, pretty much kind of biding their time. John Peters out front, 2.2 seconds over Wyatt Alexander, Devin Marhefka, Kenny Kibbe, Evan Bollier, Ryan Libby, Charles Lewandowski, Zane Farrell, David Arute, Corey Casagrande still in the top 10. About 19 laps to go here at Oxford Plains, and well, the cool thing about being up here in the production trailer and not down there on the racetrack, we can dip into the production truck cooler and pull out one of these Droolies every chance we get. So pretty excited about that. And following along with the racing here, you can see Wyatt Alexander putting a little bit of gap there on the number 22 with Devin Marhefka, who was under fire from the number 15 at Kenny Kibbe.
Jeffrey Brown going a lap down in the number 55 car as John Peters works around here. Been keeping an eye on John Peters out of the corner of our eye here, Paul, and a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him, and he's pulled away by that almost or over 2 second gap, 2.3 seconds, 2.4 seconds the last time by. Got to kind of manage the gap here. You can't really burn your stuff up, because if you have a green-white checker or a late race caution, you don't want to spin the tires and use your tires up. If you're back here in position number 3 with Marhefka, you got Kibbe looking to the inside. They're hoping to not be that caution flag. but they're hoping to not lose any spots. If you're the 22 now, you're stuck to the outside. Where do you find that hole to the inside? Kibbe is there, and Boiler going to try to stick that nose to the inside.
Tim, I've been watching that 22 car of Devin Marhefka for about 2 or 3 laps. He's really losing the control of the back end of that race car. He's having a hard time holding on to it. You can see the back end of it really wants to spin around, and Kenny Kibbe absolutely took advantage of that, got down low. The 56 going to follow him on through as well here, and Ryan Libby's going to try and move himself up into the top 5 as well. But real loose race car for the number 22. You can see the back end just almost every corner of every lap. He kind of has to hold on to it. There's another big wiggle, shoots on, and you can see those white gloves on that steering wheel through the windshield just all over the place. Right, let's see if we can ride on board with him and just see how hard he's working that wheel, even on the little bit of a straightaway. And he's gonna be put in a tough situation here. The 55 car of Jeffrey Brown, as he's a lap down, it looks like, going to go 3 wide. That's never good anywhere and never good at Oxford Plains, but it looks like these guys are going to get down with it. 22 is going to fall back in place here, 7th place behind the 01 of Charles Lewandowski.
Yeah, you can't fault Charles Lewandowski for trying to make that move and trying to pick up that spot. We'll come by this time and have 11 laps to go. John Peters about to be in a little bit of traffic as Marhefka maybe gave the business that time a little bit to Lewandowski to try to get that position back. Zane Farrell not too far behind this battle either, trying to pick up a couple of spots late. But Paul, we've got a little bit of lap traffic for your leader coming up. Matt Kenfield, you get the 7 of Kyle Casagrande and Ryan Pasacco directly ahead of the leader, and they're battling for position.
Always a tough situation when you come up on lap traffic when they don't want to lose a lap, but they're also battling themselves for position. So there you saw Kyle Casagrande kind of gave way. There went to 76, moved up. Matt Kentfield giving the bottom lane over to the leader, John Peters. And next car in his sights is going to be the number 74 of Ryan Pasacco. And you can see just really able to just kind of feather the throttle back onto it. He's not really spinning the tires or anything like that. Just cool, calm, collected, and nice and methodical here for the champ, the number 51 of John Peters. Doing an awesome job here at Oxford Plains. Made mention a couple of times, real tough racetrack to drive because you're always turning left. There's no real time to rest here under green flags, and even under caution, they're quick cautions, quick yellow flags here at the short little bull ring. So it's not a whole lot of time to rest here in a 100-lapper.
You see Pasacco ahead of the 51 at John Peters as they come out of corner number 4. Been watching corner number 4 the last couple of laps here, Paul, and we're seeing those guys kind of try to put the power down a little bit. We saw it a couple of times last night where after a little bit of a run, the tires get hot, and you try to get into that rhythm, and you might try to get a little more off of turn 4 than you really want to, and a couple of those drivers slipping away. But next time by John Peters, we'll see 5 laps to go right there. So 5 laps remaining for the champ, and he's got that fairly big lead on position number 2. And Wyatt Alexander won a run for the 96 car. Unless something happens, he's probably going to come home with position number 2. And Kenny Kibbe, once he got through that traffic, was able to get away with 3rd. But Evan Boiler on his back bumper, about a car length or so behind, trying to make it happen. I think the biggest battle coming down to about 3 to go is going to be this Lewandowski-Marhefka-Farrell battle.
There you can see the 22 trying to get back around the 01 of Lewandowski. Marhefka hoping for the best, trying to get that the back end of that race car to stick, see if he can hold on to as much grip as he can. And you can see he's trying to widen the corners out just a little bit, run in a little bit hotter, and try and get off just a little bit quicker. And you can see he's going to try and shoot down low on Lewandowski, but Lewandowski closes the door there. 22 gives him a little bit of the bumper, and he backs up just a little bit. Lewandowski tries to turn left and block in front of him. Zane Farrell going on the outside. He's going to try and pass both of these guys as they're playing bumper cars with 2 laps to go here, Tim.
Leader is taking the white flag. Final lap here for the Angry Tree Guy 100. That battle continues on. Lewandowski goes around at a 4. It's going to be the 22 going around as well. The white flag is already flown, though, and we got big trouble out of corner number 4. Peters is going to come through it, and he's going to win the Angry Tree Guy 100. And Alexander for 2nd. 3rd is going to belong to Kenny Kibbe, and that was a mess at the end, but the leader got through it, and he's John Peters, wire to wire, going to go to victory lane.
Hey, Zeus Marimba. What a finish. Big-time wreck at the last corner of the last lap here. John Peters, the champ, coming away with it. Wyatt Alexander, Kenny Kibbe, Evan Boulier, Ryan Libby in the top 5. Great run there for the points leader, Ryan Libby. Zane Farrell comes home 6th. David Arute 7th. Corey Casagrande in the 52 car. He's going to come home 8th. Kind of a quiet night for Corey. We didn't really talk about him too much. Scott McDonald in the 44 finishes 9th, and the 01 of Charles Lewandowski ends up 10th.
Yeah, a lot of those drivers got shuffled around at the very end of that one. Brett Roy comes home in 11th, and a lot of these drivers that are scored as one lap down did not complete the race because of that incident on the last lap. Uhouse, Kopech, Hopkins, Marhefka, Pasako, Casagrande, Kentfield, Brown, Aiello, Brandon Marhefka, and Michael Bennett complete your field of drivers. So at the end of that one, 100 laps at Oxford, exciting finish to it, but John Peters, flag to flag, is going to go home with the victory. I'm just trying to look down here, the RDA Trilogy Challenge, trying to see who gained the most positions, Paul, and I see one with Charles Lewandowski still has 9 positions gained, so that may very well be the RDA Trilogy Challenge Award recipient. So they'll have to double check. You can check out the NEPS Marketing Grand National Division for Shift Marketing. You can check their social media out and see who won that for sure. But it's John Peters winning the race, and we'll catch up with him in just a few moments.
Yeah, and we're actually going to run down there and see if we can't talk to the champ, Pon Jeters, down there, as it's written on his fire suit this week. A lot of weird nicknames going on here. I'm going to have to check out the Twitter and pay it a little bit more attention. But, man, the champ led every single lap here, 100 laps for the Angry Tree Guy Oxford 100. Fantastic race, great restarts all night long. Walk us through it.
Thanks, guys. Good to chat with you again. I feel like it's been a little bit. Yeah, just a real good, solid race. Mistake-free and no pit strategy involved this week, which helped out quite a bit. Those things have hurt me a lot just in the last few weeks. So just to get back into victory lane here, have a good, solid race at what is my sim home track of Oxford Plains Speedway. Feels good.
Absolutely, up from the state of Maine, and pretty cool to see what the race go down without any kind of pit strategy. We did see couple of cautions there in the center of the race, and we ended up going from double file to single file restarts. Did that play any kind of factor into your race, or did you pretty much have the restarts in the bag?
That certainly made it a little bit easier. I didn't have to worry about 2 guys, lining up behind me or beside me, just one car behind me. So that certainly made a difference. If I could just get a good launch off the start, and I really didn't have to worry about it. It's just such a finicky, finesse-focused track that if you can keep your tires underneath you and hold the bottom, you're going to find success. It's hard enough to pass as is, and the tires didn't seem to drop off too much tonight. So I think all that kind of blended together and worked out for us.
For sure, and you made it look easy here at Oxford Plains. Now, we did make mention earlier on in the broadcast, Race 2 for the NEPS Super Truck Series is going to be kicking off next Friday night live here on Vidane TV. Already run a race there on New Year's Day. Now that there's 2 series running at the same time, does that kind of cut the focus in half, or is that much of a worry for you?
I try to keep the truck series just fun, just to enjoy that on the Friday nights that we get to do it. Try to continue to put focus here in this series because it's been competitive this year. I mean, we've obviously seen Ryan Libby now win 4 races, and he's had a pretty good lead on the point standings here. So I've wanted to focus on this series and put my practice time and efforts here, and then just go have fun with that Super Truck Series. So that's what we'll plan to do. But looking forward to doing that as well. It's always good to have something to do during the off season and something for entertainment for everybody out there.
For sure, and that's what we're all about here at Vidane TV, entertaining the masses. And speaking of the masses, there's a massive amount of support here for the 51 car in real life and in the simulated life and sim racing and all that good stuff. Who gets it done for the John Peters machine?
Thanks to you guys, Paul, Tim, Vidane TV. Thanks to Angry Tree Guy for putting on the race tonight, Shift Marketing and Design. And then thanks to all of our partners, Toronto North America, Digby's Variety, Four Seasons Synthetic, Libby Septic, Turn 4 Automotive, my parents for watching. Thanks to my girlfriend and my dog for letting me do this. My girlfriend's doing homework tonight, so I got to pass. And thanks to everybody out there for watching. Good to be back here talking with you guys, and glad we could have a good night.
Congratulations on another win here in the NEPS series, and man, that dog's got to be proud sitting back in the room watching his owner win all these races. So definitely a proud dog moment there. But man, oh man, congratulations on a great run.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll go give him a bone.
There you go. Tim Terry, Kenny Kibbe finishes third. He looks like he wanted to be second in the interview process, though. Going to be a little bit quicker there to the microphone. Kenny Kibbe is with Tim Terry.
Yeah, Kenny finishing position number 3 tonight. Oxford obviously tough. Let's talk about the first half of the race with those restarts. Trying to get a rhythm, how tough was it?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. Early on, I started in an even numbered position and I had a few restarts in an even numbered spot. So I was always having to fight to get back in line. I was always losing ground on the restarts, which really made it tough for the rest of the race because, like John was saying, there wasn't really any pit strategy. So you kind of just had to have pace and just track position. And so he kept getting put back or, not gaining anything on the restarts. So I just, we had to make our passes under as the run developed. And when we had those short runs, really made it a struggle for me to make any passes. I also want to apologize to Brent Roy. I made a move, and it's just kind of a product of the racing here. I was there, he came down. It's kind of just a racing deal in my opinion, but I felt bad for him that I made him lose all those spots, but I had to eventually make a move.
Trying to manage the long run at the end, you had to make a move on Devin Marhefka. About 15 laps or so to go. Talk about trying to set up that pass and walk away with what would eventually be a third-place run.
Yeah, so we finally got a good, decent run there, and the front tires were starting to wear out, just trying to stay disciplined, stay on that bottom. I could tell Devin was trying to get a run on wide up ahead of him, and he was lighting up the tires every once in a while, so just waited for the corner where I would be like right on his tail and then get to the throttle early and hard, and just dived to his inside. And I didn't think that Devin was going to be too aggressive in trying to pinch me down if I did get to his inside. So just made a nice clean pass and then tried to run down Wyatt there, but he did a good job of saving his stuff to the end and couldn't quite track him down.
Points-wise, you made a lot of ground the last couple of weeks on John Peters. John getting the win tonight, getting a couple of extra points on you, but 7 races to go. How big are you thinking points here?
I mean, John and Ryan Libby, they're the guys that that we're shooting for. They've been consistently beating me, but it seems like in those last few weeks, it's like I've at least been beating one of them. So yeah, we're just kind of chipping away. Seems like John's really, really good on these short tracks, and then Libby's really, really good on the bigger tracks, and we're somewhere in the middle. So if we can just stay consistent, have good races, and I don't wish trouble upon the other guys, but if they do run into trouble and we can keep having clean races like we've had, we might still have a shot at this thing.
Sponsors on this race car, teammates, who'd you like to thank for bringing home this effort in position number 3?
Yeah, everybody at Vidane TV for the broadcasts, and NEP, the whole group of guys we race with every week. It's been fun. The Shift Marketing and Design, Angry Tree Guy being the sponsor for tonight. You guys with that as well. And shout out to the new Mountain Dew Major Melon flavor. Been drinking it this week, and hopefully it's been fueling me to these top 5s.
And another great podium finish. Kenny Kibbe, the 15, coming home in position number 3. I believe Paul has caught up with our runner-up finisher this evening, another hometown driver or home track driver from Ellsworth, Maine, Wyatt Alexander.
Absolutely. Up front most of the night here in that podium position, or in one of the podium positions there, the number 96, Wyatt Alexander finishes exactly where he started the race here tonight. Talk to us about your race here, Wyatt.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun. Obviously John's pretty good here in Oxford on iRacing. Usually always a front runner in this series. So, and I'm usually not. So a second place feels pretty good. Obviously these guys are all pretty quick, and I'm not usually mixing it up at the front, so felt good to do so.
Now, we haven't really introduced the fans and the viewers out there too much about the Super Truck Series. We did do the Super Truck Draft here a few weeks back, and you guys ran the very first race on New Year's Day. We weren't able to cover it here on Vidane TV, but we are carrying race number 2 starting next Friday night. And your teammate there, your 4-wide weaponry teammate, Kenny Kibbe, finishes right behind you in 3rd, so pretty cool to see 2nd and 3rd here. Doesn't necessarily mean you guys are teammates here, though, correct?
No, not necessarily. It was the NEP race, the truck race the other night was cool. I ended up 3rd in that deal, and we're leading the points, so that was neat. But yeah, no, I was thinking that my plan to just save my tires worked pretty good. Devin, was quicker than me for a bit, and I was just hoping he'd burn it up, and I think he eventually did. And Kenny, he was coming there for a little bit after he got clear at Devin, but I figured I'd just keep running my line, and he'd do the same, and I ended up pulling back away a little bit right at the very end. So that was cool. Obviously, Oxford's one of my home tracks, a lot like Beech Ridge. I ran 8 races in my Super Late model this year, had a podium and a pass race at Oxford, ran the Oxford 250, won the Granite State Pro Stock Series race at Beech Ridge, which is a similar to this. So I'm not usually one who feels much similarity between the sim and the real world, but I guess that if anywhere is going to be it for me, it'd be a place like Oxford.
Absolutely, and rattling off a lot of real racing achievements. 2021 is a new year. Hopefully this pandemic thing takes a back seat and we can actually get some full crowds out to racetracks. I know here in Connecticut we only did the 25% capacity. What does the 2021 season look like in real life for Wyatt Alexander?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit dialed back in a way for me. I'm actually starting a new internship this summer and get ready to graduate college next year. So I got to slow down my traveling a little bit, but I'll be racing full-time at Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, running for points there. We had a pretty good year there this year in the limited races, so looking forward to that. Usually we run a little bit at Oxford and maybe a little bit down south. Don't think we're going to get to do that this year, but hopefully in the near future after that.
And we're seeing K&B Auto there on the quarter panels of that race car. Who else makes it happen here for the number 96 team?
K&B Auto is my family business. My sim rig's actually my dad's business. I'm actually sitting upstairs in the shop here. That's where my sim rig is. So big shout out to my dad, helping me and my grandfather with a real race car, and they usually get a kick out of this stuff. And One Step Home Care, Arv George Construction, Harry's Motorsports, AR Bodies. Shout out to John Peters' dad, Greg. I know he usually watches these deals, and he's going through a little bit of stuff right now. So big shout out to Greg. And it was fun to race with John on here. He and I were really good friends and raced against each other in the Oxford 250 this year a lot. He and I are really tight. I was in Evan Bolyer's wedding, so we're all really good friends, and Brent Roy and Jeff Brown. And so it's just neat. This whole league is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys always put on a fantastic show, both on the racetrack and in the draft, and on the live draft that you can actually check out the replay over on the Vidane TV Facebook page, the Shift Marketing and Design Grand National page as well, and entertaining as well on Twitter. You definitely have to follow the NEPS group on Twitter, and you can see all these drivers very, very active on social media, and there's a lot of trash talking. Tim and I were talking about it earlier on tonight. It's absolutely entertaining to see all the trash talk throughout the week, and then when it comes race time here on Race Night on Vidane TV, put up or shut up time, and you guys always put up a good show and put up a good fight. And man, you came home second here tonight. Started second, came home second, and good points night tonight. So congratulations on a good run.
Yeah, thanks guys, and thanks to you and Tim and everybody for putting this on. We appreciate that you guys do it. It's pretty fun for us, and obviously I know Tim from racing at 660 and stuff, so it's just cool. Thanks guys.
Thank you, and there you have it, second place finisher Wyatt Alexander. Tim, that was one hell of a race. A lot of Oxford Plains here over the past couple of weeks here on Vidane TV with the Tim's Corner Motorsports deal, as well as a handful of other races here. And now with the NEPS guys putting down 100 laps for the Angry Tree Guy Oxford 100. Pretty exciting race. Crazy finish there at the end.
Yeah, crazy finish, crazy across the line. Let's put it that way. John Peters kind of had it handled up in front. Wyatt Alexander did a great job in second, holding down second, especially in a couple of runs or a couple laps after we took the green flag in that long green flag run. Excellent racing, a little bit slow at the start, but these NEPS guys always know how to put on a great show. Can't wait to see them twice next week, including the Shift Grand National Division race at Lucas Oil Raceway Park, because that track always puts on a great show. But some great racing coming up here. I know we've got some racing Friday and Saturday, and then we got a big one at Bristol on Sunday. What do we got in the upcoming events?
Yeah, just taking a look. We got the New York Sports Show 150 at Stafford Motor Speedway tomorrow night. You and I are going to be in the booth for that. That's going to be pretty damn exciting. Very cool to be working with Dominic with that. There's some big names in that race, about 10, 15 drivers, 20 drivers or so on the roster. A lot of Stafford regulars and some big names in that, so be sure to tune in tomorrow night here on a Friday, a little Friday night action. Friday night Stafford action at 8 p.m. Eastern. Saturday night, late night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, the Sim 500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway Series. Wes Hogue, our very own still leading the points, still trying to find that very first win to lock himself into the playoffs. First time we've ever had the playoffs in the Vidane Racing, Vidane sanctioned race as that were, and just announced last week, actually Monday night, even this week, of the NEPS series. We announced that Rent a Race Car and myself have finally come up with a date to have the champion versus champion night at Stafford Motor Speedway. Obviously, 2020 was a rough year trying to get everybody to the track, so Jarrett Bolliard wasn't able to claim his championship ride. He was able to finally get the belt after the post office was able to find the championship belt. It took him a couple of weeks to get that box, but he did finally get that championship belt, brought to you by Pro-Am Belts. Gorgeous belt, and we got another one that we're going to be handing out to the champion of this year. And June 11th, Friday night, June 11th, we're going to be doing the champion versus champion, so it'll be Jarrett Bolliard and this season's champion. Going to be racing in the street stock division and a couple of Rent-A-Race Car cars, and be sure to check out Rent-A-Race Car, and we want to thank them for letting us use their Facebook page tonight to push out some Vidane TV broadcasts out to the interwebs. And man, that's going to be a fun weekend, Tim, because that very next night, Saturday night, the debut race for the SRX series, brought to you by Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham, is going to be at Stafford Motor Speedway, and that's going to be June 12th. So we're really looking forward to that weekend. We're going to be camping out with the Rent-A-Race Car guys underneath the Rent-A-Race Car banner, if you will. Lots of wobbly pops and some ice-cold beverages, and got to tell you, Vidane TV always reminds you to drink responsibly. So we're looking forward to that, and lots of action to Jim Hallahan 333 is coming up this Sunday. Really excited for that. That's going to be an afternoon show, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, so you got nothing else going on. Even if you do have something else going on, cancel your plans, come hang out with us. We'll be sure that you're entertained. And then we've got the Mike on the Rock returning to Rockingham. I believe we pushed that back to the 12th. Next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So lots of action coming up here on Vidane TV. Man, we think the last time I counted, we've got 26 races here in the month of January, and it does not slow down all the way through springtime. So we're really looking forward to a full year of broadcasting. March, at some point in the month of March, is going to be our 1-year anniversary show. Not sure what we're doing yet, but we're going to do something special to entertain the fans, and it's going to be pretty much an invitational deal. Anybody that's ever broadcast a race here on Vidane TV, we would invite them to send as many drivers as they can, and we'll do either some kind of big night of heat racing or maybe a week-long qualifying deal or something along those lines. But definitely be sure to pay attention to social media, Vidane TV on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we'll be announcing that stuff very, very shortly. But another great race here at Vidane TV. The NEPS guys putting on an awesome show. Shout out to Shift Marketing and Design for sponsoring the series, and Angry Tree Guy for signing on for the night sponsor here for the Oxford 100. That's going to do it here for us tonight. We're going to pull the plugs and plug everything back in tomorrow night. Stafford Motor Speedway tomorrow night for the New York Sports Show, 150. And very excited about that. Be sure to tune in, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to do it here for us. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., the legend Tim Terry. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.